Hi, everyone. This is your host, Kristen Howe, and I am so excited to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Lisa Barnett. Lisa is the founder of Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom. As an internationally known teacher with more than 20 years' experience in the spiritual healing forum, Lisa has created resources for clarity and healing through the ancient yet very resourceful Akashic knowledge. Using sacred prayers, Lisa can easily access the healing wisdom of the Akashic, which in turn, she teaches her students, providing them the knowledge so they too can access their own personal soul records. Lisa specializes in working with individuals to help them become centered on their soul's path by clearing soul contracts, karma, and vows, which have shown to have profound effects. Her special healing techniques, called pain body release, energetically helps to release accumulated emotional pain from this or past lifetimes. This ancient wisdom helps you at a soul level to create the life your heart and soul desires. And on today's call with Lisa, you will discover an ancient wisdom that can help manifest abundance in your life. You'll discover simple techniques to clear your karma and get you unstuck. You'll experience a clearing healing. You'll find out the contracts that you have with people in this lifetime and how they impact you. And you'll find out how your personal past life information can help align you with your soul purpose. How amazing is that? Okay, Lisa, I can't wait. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Kristen. I am so excited to be able to share this ancient wisdom with your listeners. It is so time to create the life that we've really come to create. And so this is one of the great ways to do it. So I can't wait to share all of this info with you.
I love your energy so much. As we were talking beforehand, I could just feel the energy bubbling up. So I'm really, really excited. So let's start off by having you share a little bit of your story. My guess is, it hasn't always been that things have been, manifesting for you. So can you share with us maybe some of the major turning points for you that have allowed you to get to where you are and manifesting your current level of success?
Yeah, absolutely. So my story's a little convoluted, probably like everybody's stories are. But when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I had a very kind of awakening experience where I literally remember looking at my little baby hands and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in a body. It was this very shocking realization. And I said to my mother, I want to go home. I don't want to do this. I want to go home. So I had this kind of weird trauma. Of course, my poor mother, I'm sure she was traumatized too. She's like, but you are home. And I'm like, no, I want to go back. I don't want to do this. I want to be like, one with everything again. And so that set me up with a lot of awareness, a lot of memory, which has been profound in my life. But it also kind of set me up with this trauma of, I don't want to be here and I don't want to do this. So that was certainly a struggle through a lot of years of my life. My earlier years, I really did study, starting as a teenager, 14, 15, 16. I read Carlos Castaneda, Journeys Out of the Body, Baba Ram Dass's Be Here Now. I really kind of delved deep into the spiritual information that was available in the 70s. But it actually was a kind of a traumatic time in my life. I lost 2 of my best friends. They both died of kind of fluke, unusual causes. And I got really angry. I was very angry with Divine Source. I thought, this is unfair. I'm not going to do this. Whatever purpose I came to do, I'm not doing it. I'm over it. So I really kind of went on, had a whole corporate career. I had a lot of fun in the, 70s, 80s, pretty wild time in California, until literally it made me ill, physically ill, chronic fatigue, etc. And I realized I am so far off my path, whatever that might be, that this is going to kill me if I don't do something about it. And so I really started researching, going, to alternative medical doctors and really a lot of energy healing. And I started to study. And I got on a path of self-healing and studied energy healing and intuitive wisdom, and actually became an intuitive energy healer until I realized that I had this big booming voice yelling at me all the time. And when I realized it was the Lords of the Akashic Records and I could move into this really big, expansive vibration, that changed my life. So I realized very clearly what my soul's calling was. And just by working in this very, very high vibration, I was able to heal myself on so many levels and just change and shift and step into my calling, which is sharing this ancient wisdom with the world and really being able to do that and create that. So it's been an interesting roller coaster, and I feel really blessed to be here now and be here with you and share this with your listeners. So thank you for asking.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. So I have to ask, and here's the thing, that the listeners of Manifest Everything Now, that it is an extraordinary group of people. Love them. And they've been around. They're familiar with the stuff. However, the Akashic Records, that might be a newer thing for some people. Some of them might not have even heard of it. So can you explain what they are so that we're all sort of going into this knowing what we're talking about?
Sure, I love to. So one of the interesting things, and one of the reasons also that people are not so aware of the Akashic Records, is that the energy, the vibration of the Akashic field was actually pulled away from Earth about 1,000 years ago. So before that, for thousands of years, people could actually access their records. We were very in tune with divine wisdom. We were in much better masculine-feminine balance. And so people really were walking a much more magical, mystical, spiritual path back, 3, 5, 10,000 years ago. And so as we moved into this more recent time, and I call 1,000 years ago recent, we started to misuse the energy and the wisdom of the Akashic field. And the masters and lords really pulled the vibration away. So the only people that could access the Akashic records anymore were really the mystics, were the spiritual teachers. And so, of course, we read about the Book of Life in places like the Bible, and many of the great spiritual teachers have spoken about the Book of Life or the Akashic Records or Akasha, but really the energy was pulled away from humanity because we misused it for our own good and gain. And so that's really why, and even the teaching was, you are not able to access this information. And so there's a lot of people who say, gee, I've heard of it, but I've also been told that we're not allowed to access the Akashic Records. And that's part of the why people are not so familiar with it. But the truth is that the Akashic Records is the energetic information of divine source energy. So literally divine source, Mother, Father, God is an energy field, and there is this part that records everything. And that is what we call the Akashic Record. So a lot of people imagine the Akashic Record as a library. And you could imagine that with each book representing a lifetime. But of course, the truth is the Akashic field is infinite and everywhere. So it's not even housed in an etheric building. And we really connect to it through our hearts. So everything really literally is recorded in the Akashic field. Everyone, all living things have an Akashic record, and that means that your pets and even your business has an Akashic record. And even though your business is not living like the same way, obviously, that you and I are, there is a dynamic energy vibration that's alive, and it's filled with your vital energy. So you can work on your business in the Akashic records. You can work on your relationships in the Akashic records. The story of your biological family is written, your ancestral family is written. So there's a lot of group energy also that's written in the Akashic records. So it's very powerful and useful for us to access for all sorts of different information. But what I'd love to do today is to start out by bringing all the listeners into the group Akashic Records with me so that they can have really an experience of the energy, and we can ask the masters of the records to do some healing on everyone, if you choose. And you just say kind of, yes, please help me to heal, clear, release. We'll ask for that gift from this high vibration. If everybody just would like to sit back for a moment, and I will kind of do this short guided meditation, and then you can just feel into the energy, relaxing and opening your heart. Okay. Oh, so we'll just sit back for a moment and take a deep breath to start. And as you draw that breath into your lungs, also focus on your heart center. And we just ask our hearts to relax and open a little bit further. We ask our souls to come down into our physical bodies so that we can be grounded and present as we do this work here today. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help as we lay our multidimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. We give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. So just allowing your energy to expand. You may feel the lightness. I often see it as a silvery blue column of energy coming around you. It may feel sparkly or tingly. So whatever you notice is just perfect. And just know that as we go forward and talk about some different things and do some meditations and processes today, the masters are surrounding you with the divine love of the Akasha and helping you to clear and release whatever you're ready to let go of. Okay.
Wow. I love that. I feel so supported, actually, is the best way I can put that. I just feel very supported right now. Let me ask you this, and I'm so glad that you did that with us, because I think it really is allowing everybody to sort of be in the same space with it. You know, now that you've described it, so now we understand. How can we use this in our lives?
Well,
I know that's kind of a huge question, but...
Yes, but, and I'll try and give you the abridged version, because I laugh because, of course, I'm really channeling the masters of the records. And what happens is that there are multiple layers of information that always come through. So the answer to that question is we can use the energy and the information in multiple ways. So we can use it every day. So one of my suggestions is as people really become empowered and step into learning to access their own records, we can use them every single day to raise our vibration. And I'm sure that everyone knows when we raise our vibration, we're actually clearing, releasing, and letting go of some of the old issues. We're moving out of kind of the earthly, heavier, denser energy. I always say we kind of move out of the muck and the mire of the earth. That's how it often feels to me, is it feels kind of mucky down here. So I love to just raise my vibration and live in a higher vibrational world. And so we receive healing by doing that every day, just by opening our own Akashic records. And I have also brought through 5 healing prayers, which are healing tools that are phenomenal to use inside or outside of the Akashic records to help to clear and shift our energy depending on kind of what you might have going on for you. So that's one way to use the Akashic records, really simple way. Another fabulous way is to use by opening your records and asking kind of daily questions like, how can I be of service to myself today? How can I be of service to my family, my business, my community? So we really open our hearts to be of service, and we receive a lot of phenomenal information and baby steps on our next steps on our path. We can also ask great things like, what food would be good for me to eat today? Or is there something I'm eating that's not beneficial for my body? And so we can be guided. I noticed that a lot of my students actually email and say, you know what, I've dropped 5 or 10 pounds just since I started doing your program, and I'm feeling called to eat higher vibrational food. And I'm just, kind of joyously actually losing weight. So, of course, that's not the point of the program at all. But as we shift into a higher vibration, we're often called, we desire to eat higher vibrational food, which is often more organic and lighter and healthier. So those are some really simple kind of daily processes. And then, of course, we can work on our steps with our own soul path. What did I come to do? And please help me with my baby steps. And so what's in my highest and best good to do today? Or is there someone that I should call that would be beneficial for my business? Or is there someone that I'm looking to meet that I can maybe clear and release any block to? So we can keep doing our deeper work as well as our daily work. So it's profound on all of these different levels.
Wow. Okay. So, and I love that. I love the sort of the asking the questions. What's some healthier food? Because I think that allows us to not be so busy trying to force everything. So I love that. That's an amazing, there's a letting go to it. Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah, it really is, because each person is such a unique soul. One of the images I get in the records is of these phenomenal tapestries. So if you imagine, in medieval times, castles that had those full, huge wall tapestries, that's the way the Lords of the Records show it to me. Each soul is this amazing weaving of tapestry, because we travel to different planets and dimensions. We've lived hundreds of lifetimes here on Earth, and we weave this phenomenal tapestry. So we're so unique. We're not just unique because of where you were born and raised and what your parents and family were like in this lifetime. We're unique because you multiply that times 600 and then times thousands of lives other places. So what's good for you is going to be different than what's good for me. And so there is no, one size fits all answer. The reason I love the Akashic Records is because one person really is physically built to, and their highest and best vibration is maybe to be a vegan. And someone else actually really needs animal protein. And so that's the highest and best for them. So it's not, again, there's not a simple answer that this is right.
I love that too, because that frees everyone listening. You've just heard it here. There is no right way. There is just what's right for you. I love that. That's so powerful. All right. I want to ask you about a word that gets thrown around a lot, and there's definite confusion about it, and also what the heck do we do about it? And that's karma. What's the deal with karma? How can we clear karma and get unstuck? But give us what your thoughts are on all of that.
Yes. Oh, karma, the way I see karma is I see it as a circle or a cycle. So we create karma by actually, it's really more about unfinished business. So say I have a lifetime, I'll just use an example of, let's see, for some reason a lifetime as a shopkeeper is coming up. I guess in this life it's about creating a business. The information I'm receiving for the group, it's really about creating a business. And in this past life, I was a shopkeeper, and I had a partner. And my partner ran off with all of the goods, all of the money, all of the cash, and all of the goods that we were selling. So we had a nice little hat shop, and my partner loaded up all the hats and took the till and ran out of town. Now, I have some karma with this person, and they have some karma with me, right? So something has gone kind of amiss, and it's time we really need to finish that karma. So that certainly doesn't mean that I'm going to have a business partner and I'm going to steal from them. What it really means, and the simplest and best way to clear karma is through forgiveness. But what that might mean for someone in this lifetime is they may end up with a business partner, and there may be some unhappy energy. There may be some challenges, and it may be the same person. And what you've really done is you've come to work it through. And one of the necessities is to be able to move into your heart and into forgiveness, to be able to see this person for the soul that they really are, not just this bad person who stole from me. And to really be able to come into a place where you can heal that relationship. And healing that relationship may be about dissolving the partnership with love and grace in this lifetime, and forgiving them, whether you know what you're forgiving them for or not, and being able to move on. And that actually completes the karma. So it doesn't have to be terrible or traumatic. It's really about forgiveness and love, unconditional love and grace. So that's kind of one little kind of story. But, again and again, we create these situations where we may have been killed by someone, or maybe we've killed someone. We have all these lifetimes as warriors where we've gone into towns and we've, raped and pillaged and burned down towns. And so sometimes we come back and the karma is to be born into, we choose this now, remember that, we choose to be born into a family that has some real anger and abuse issues. And that, that parent may have been one of the people whose villages you burned down in a past life. And so you're working through karmically all of this anger and this kind of abusive energy. And so literally by just becoming aware of it, by moving into your higher soul state and being able to move into your heart and into forgiveness, you are clearing and releasing that karma. So when we go on hating people and sending them poisonous vibrations, we're really literally poisoning ourselves. And, they're really pretty oblivious to what we're doing, right? So the forgiveness, we have a beautiful forgiveness prayer that I use for clearing karma. So it's something that we can heal. We do want to learn the lesson, at least by becoming aware of what it's about and forgiving ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves for the people that we've killed. And it's important to be able to move into our hearts and see who they are so that we can move into kind of a clear space of unconditional love.
That's amazing. So all of this is a little bit of the soul contract thing, correct?
Well, I considered soul contracts a little bit different. So I have this really kind of funny story. The lords and masters and the teachers of our records are beings of unconditional love, right? So these are divine source beings, and they're really funny. I always say that because they're not living in any of the trauma that we live in. They see things in this beautiful, loving, way. So there's no trauma in their life. So they're filled with humor, and it's very fun. So the story about contracts that they give us is that before we come into a life, we decide that we want to create, a couple of dozen at least soul contracts on all sorts of different levels. And so they show us all of these souls gathering together in a big auditorium or a big gymnasium. In my world, it's like a big gym, like where you used to do PE in high school. So here you go. You're standing in this gym, and there's your 200, 500 souls who have all gathered together. And everybody wants to make soul contracts for their life. And everybody says, okay, I'd like to make a soul contract with a couple of partners for like a marriage contract. And so there's a couple of souls that say, hey, we had a great marriage in a past life. How about if we make another marriage contract? And you say, sure, yes, let's do that. And someone else says, We have some forgiveness work to do. We had kind of a traumatic past life together. Do you want to do that kind of through an intimate relationship or through a marriage contract? And you say, sure, let's take one of those on too. Let's finish that karma by making a new soul contract. And so we make soul contracts with souls to be our children. We make soul contracts with people to be our parents. We make business contracts, marriage contracts, contracts just to, part of it can be connected to the karma about finishing, learning lessons, and finishing old business like the karma. So we make all these different contracts, and then we come to Earth and we forget all about them all. So there we are, stuck in some, unhappy relationship, and we think, how did this happen, right? And the truth is that you made that contract to learn something, to remember something. So a lot of what we're doing here is trying to remember who we really are. So that we can remember, expand into our huge divine soul space, be the unconditional love, awaken, and really, live the life we came to create. And that's really why we come, to this planet. And to do that kind of like, using free will. And so it's kind of like we come here almost like you would play a video game and say, I'm going to come here, I'm going to forget everything, and I'm going to run through all these obstacles, and I'm going to remember that I'm really a divine soul, and I'm going to win by awakening or ascending. So,
interesting.
That's the game we're playing.
I love that. And I love any time that we can, sort of look at it like it is a game. I think it frees it up a bit. So, I love that you said that. Okay. So talk to me a little bit about past lives, because that is something that, as we're talking about all of this and karma and, soul contracts, can different areas of what is happening and showing up and manifesting in our life now, can that be, for instance, can what happened in my past life affect how much money I make in this life? Yes. Or my relationship in this, any of that? How does that all factor in?
Yeah, so to me, I find past lives are very, very profound, and they influence us in a lot of different ways, because the truth is that we do want to come and finish karma, and that karma was created in a past life. Our soul contracts, our soul family, and our soul, I'm going to digress here just for a second into how I see how the masters of the Akashic Records explain soul family, is that when we individuate from source, we're actually kind of born in a basket with a bunch of other souls. And we tend to travel around through the universes, through the galaxies, through these lifetimes here on Earth with a group of souls. And there's usually, for most of us, somewhere between 300, 500, 1,000 souls that are in our soul family. So the way the masters explain it to us is that we usually have soul contracts with soul family members. Not always. Sometimes there's some new souls that show up in our life, but often they're soul family members. And instead of thinking about your relationship with someone who's your soulmate, like there's only one of them out there, you can expand that and relax and think, I have 500 soul family members, and I have a couple of different contracts for a marriage partner with these soul family members. And they know me really deeply because they've been traveling with me throughout time. So that's one kind of piece about soul families and kind of I just flip, soul families and soulmates in there. But the truth is that we do have a lot of what I would call past life bleed through. So sometimes people have a lot of fear in a certain area. Sometimes people are afraid of the water, and there's absolutely no reason they can figure out why they might be afraid of the water. And that's usually a past life where they drowned, or a couple of past lives where they drowned or had a really traumatic experience with water. we certainly have taken vows of poverty in numerous lives. I don't think I know any light workers that haven't had hundreds of spiritual lifetimes, and many of those lifetimes we took vows of poverty. Because in those lifetimes, we were cared for by the community. So you could take a vow of poverty because you knew that you were living in a monastery, or that the village was, bringing you chickens and rice so that you were fed, and that there was, doors open and homes open to you, places for you to sleep. So you were always provided for. So it was much easier to take a vow of poverty and say, okay, I'm not going to ask for money because I know that people respect me and the soul teaching and the spiritual teaching I'm doing. And they always created that energy exchange. There was always that gift of, food, clothing, and shelter. Or we, like I said, we were gurus. We had our own places, monasteries, places that we lived and taught, and students came, or anyway. So we took these vows of poverty, and those show up as constrictions, places where we don't feel like we're able to ask for money for the work we do. And then the other side of it that I see is a very traumatic past life that shows up often is those lifetimes where we were very wealthy, but we were not very nice. And so we tended to die rich and lonely. Mm. So when you die really rich and lonely, can you just imagine this king sitting in his counting room, dying of some, withering old disease, and there's no one there to care for him. All there is his gold, right? And he says, I will never be rich again. This was terrible. And so you make a vow. So that's where vows come in. So we have these past life vows. We have past life karma. We have, contract with our soul family. And this is all stems from these different lifetimes. So being able to see these lifetimes, work with them, release energy from them, and what I do really specifically, and we talked a little bit about pain body release technique, I go in and help to clear the pain and trauma from those last lifetimes so that we can reclaim the energy, because that energy gets stuck outside of time and space. And we can't use it. We can't utilize it. So all that wisdom of how we made money or the spiritual teachers we were, it gets kind of wrapped in this trauma and pain and these vows and karma, and we have a hard time accessing it. So when we can access these past lives, we can free up that energy. We can free up that wisdom. We can actually reclaim a lot of the amazing wisdom that we had from these past lives.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that, because, so here it is. It's my job now to sort of be the voice of the fears that I can hear popping up within the audience, right? So that was the perfect analogy, by the way, the king, in his counting room, and then he says, I will never be rich again. Okay, so here we're sitting here and we're like, well, yes, that makes complete sense because I'm struggling with money. So then the fear, of course, here is, well, that's it. I'm in trouble. Like, that's not going to happen because I vowed never to do that. So you're saying you can change your vows when you have the awareness?
Yes. Yes, you can. So again, this is one of the great gifts of the Akashic records. So each person has their own individual beings of light. So there are these energetic beings, which are divine source energy beings, and they keep your records. So Kristen has her very own Akashic record and her very own beings of light. So if you go into your records, you would speak to the beings of light that have been keeping your records for time immemorial. And when I do a consultation for a client, I literally open their very specific record and speak to their very personal beings of light. And in this high vibrational divine source energy, this is the highest vibration that we can access on this planet. We're really saying, may I please go and sit in the energy of divine source in the room with Mother, Father, God. And in that energy, we can clear, release, and heal everything that's appropriate to be cleared. And so we can say, please show me the vows. What are the lessons? Am I ready to release this now? And these beautiful beings of light, they're pure unconditional love. They help you to do that. And so to me, of course, this is the most powerful work you can really do, because you can go and say, please tell me what the lesson is that I came to learn and help me release this old vow, because, you know, I no longer want this to be the truth of who I am. And so that's what you can learn to do for yourself in this really empowering way by learning to access your Akashic records. Or certainly I also do that for clients in consultations. So it is accessible. We can ask about our karma and learn the lessons and bring it to completion when we're ready.
That's amazing. So it's really, this is an incredibly empowering tool, as you said, because it can help you change everything. Anything you're struggling with now, it's like the awareness isn't just awareness and then you see it and you're like, oh, well, that's too bad. It's literally this awareness then is here, and so that you can shift it, so that you can step into abundance or into fulfilling relationships or better health. Am I hearing you right?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Okay. You mentioned something before that I know a lot of people, it's a big thing right now, and people are struggling with it, but they're very mindful of it as well, which is, you know, our soul path or our soul purpose. So when we talk about being on our soul path or purpose, how do we know? I mean, how do we know if we're on our path?
Well, again, opening your records and asking is a really simple way to do it.
Well, there you go.
So, you know, what I have found, and in my years of experience, but in the very first workshop that I took when I learned how to access my records using a sacred vibrational key as a sacred prayer, is that your beings of light are so interested in helping you and supporting you that they will give you all of the information really that you're ready to hear. So, of course, again, because we're all very unique people, it's going to be different, a little bit different for everyone. And even when I talk, so an example would be, when I first accessed my records, my lords of my records had actually been yelling at me for 5 years. I was a little slow on the uptake. I was doing more of a psychic trance and energy healing modality. And so they were yelling at me whenever they could get my attention. And so finally, when I learned to open the Akashic records, like I said, using a vibrational key, they downloaded information for me for about 3 hours, which was just, you know, this is your job. Your job is to teach this to the world. And I was like, wow, really? But I've got 3 babies. So it was a little crazy, and it's taken a lot of years. So nothing is overnight. You know, 15 years later, 20 years later, I'm like, oh, yay, look, I made it. So the truth is that for many of us, part of our soul path right now is to step into a higher vibration, to be able to do work like raising our energy by accessing the Akashic records or whatever tool it is that you use, and to help to raise the vibration of the planet. So in the very big general light worker overview, part of your soul path is to raise the vibration of the planet, just like you're doing, Kristen, right here with these calls, with having all of these amazing teachers on your show, so that as we speak and everybody moves into this energy with us, right now we are raising the vibration of the planet together. That's why I love to open the records with the group like we did in the beginning. Because as everybody sits in this energy, we are doing profound work for humanity right here and right now. So that's a blessing. And then there's many people whose sole work is to raise the vibration of banking or in the science field. And so sometimes our soul path is to bring heart and love, pure unconditional love and light into some of these old paradigms so that they can shift smoothly without having to fall apart and, create this big havoc in the world. So many light workers are here just to hold the light so that we can make a smooth transition into the new earth. So sometimes our soul path might be, a little bit more like you've really come to teach and to hold the light for people in the corporate world. And sometimes it's really specific. And sometimes it starts out more general and it gets more specific as you keep doing your work. So it's all written there in the record, but it's not like going, to human resources and saying, what's my job description? Because we have many soul paths and soul contracts. So even though mine may be to bring the Akashic record wisdom out to the world, it was also to parent 4 children and to help raise the vibration and teach and train kind of teenagers and 20-somethings, this sort of work. And so, there's a lot of different pieces of our soul path and our soul purpose also. So I just want people to know that it's not a either or situation. And so feel into your heart, and you can just feel in your heart and ask, am I on my path? Am I at least stepping onto that road right now? And just feel that yes come through your body. Or sometimes you'll almost feel your body wanting to turn like, nope, head over this way, or there's some other doorways over there. So really allowing ourselves to be empowered by our internal guidance is so important now.
You actually said that you have a soul signature meditation. Is that something that you could do with us?
Yes, I would love to, because it's really very profound to expand and connect to your people. So what we'll do this meditation. And then I'll just tell you a little bit about it, just a second. And so we'll really do this through our heart space, and it's just a guided follow along meditation. So hopefully people can really sit back and close their eyes if you're in, kind of a quiet, safe space. Or go back and re-listen on the replay if you can't do that right now, because it's very profound to connect. I always say what happens for me is whenever I do this meditation, so I love doing it, is a bunch of new students and a bunch of new clients all show up every time I do this meditation. So it really connects us to those people that we're here to work with on whatever realm, whether it's clients or soul family, love relationships, whatever it is for you, it really connects us up to that. So again, let's just take a nice deep breath, relaxing into the support of the chairs beneath our bodies. Let yourself plant your feet on the floor so that you can connect to your dear Mother Earth beneath your feet. And we ask Mother Earth to help ground us. And we'll start by, as we ask our dear Mother Earth to ground us, we also ask her to bring some of her beautiful earth energy up through our feet, up our legs, and up into our first chakra, second chakra, and up into our third chakra. And this is often considered really our power center, but it's really a center that we can create from. So we just allow this beautiful earth energy to pool in our third chakra. And then we run a little kind of grounding cord from the back of our third chakra back down into the earth to let that earth energy cycle through our body. So it's going to go up our feet, up our legs, first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, and then it can spill back down this grounding cord from our back of our third chakras back down into earth. So it's moving and fresh and beautiful. And now we're going to reach our minds up. We're going to reach up into the Akashic field and ask our Akashic masters, our beings of light, to flow our highest and best Akashic energy and soul signature energy down to us. And you can see this spilling down like liquid gold light pouring down into your crown chakra. And it runs down into your sixth and your fifth and your fourth chakra. And it blends into the third chakra and mixes with this earth energy. And this beautiful high vibrational soul signature, your highest and best Akashic energy, is mixing 90% you soul signature energy with a burst of 10% earth energy to help us create and manifest here on this plane in this dimension. So we mix 90 soul signature energy, 10% earth energy, and the rest just spills off that grounding cord, off the back of our third chakra, back down into the earth. And so focusing on your third chakra, seeing that beautiful soul signature energy spinning and swirling and growing in your third chakra, you may actually see some soul signature symbols. So you could ask for a symbol, and you may see like a physical symbol. It might be a circle, a triangle. Some people interestingly see things like musical notes. It may be a profound soul symbol from a past life. Or it might be just a golden sparkle or some swirling energy. Whatever it is for you, it's perfect. So breathing deeply, we let this ball of energy, this beautiful soul signature energy, expand, and expands bigger than your third chakra, and it fills up your body. And it expands as big as your auric field and further. And it starts to expand as a big ball, so it's going up and down and all around. It's filling up your whole auric field, and now it's starting to expand and fill the room that you're sitting in. And it's expanding bigger and filling the whole building. And it goes down into the earth and up into the sky and out into the city or town or area that you're living in. And it starts to expand out and fill up the state and out into the country and down. It's now filled up and gone all the way through the earth and come out the other side and up to the moon and bigger. And so you see yourself, your soul signature energy expanding in this beautiful big ball of light. And it's bigger and past the sun, and it's going out and filling up the galaxy. Breathing deeply, just feel your soul energy, your soul signature symbol expanding out, covering the whole galaxy. And out here in this galaxy, you can connect with everyone and everything that's here to support you on your path. So all of your guides and the guardians, all of the energy beings and angels and elementals, everybody from every dimension that's here to support you can see your beautiful soul signature out here in the galaxy. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so expansive. And so we just ask our soul to leave these little symbols sprinkled out here in the galaxy as we draw our more physical energy back into our bodies. So we see these sparkly symbols or these sparkles, the light, this high vibrational energy, and it's everywhere that we've been. It's all around the galaxy. It's out around the sun and the moon. It's covered our whole solar system. And as we draw our energy back past the sun, past the moon, back towards Earth, we're coming back. And now we're back, kind of pulling this energy back into this dimension, back into our country, back into our state, and back into our town, our city, all the way back into our building and our room, and all the way back into our physical bodies, drawing all of this beautiful soul energy, compacting it right here into the physical form that you are. And again, just consciously grounding it into the body and knowing that as we become more solidly grounded, our whole soul energy, like we've just done, it's much easier to create and manifest our heart's desire when we can manifest right here, right now, in this physical plane, in this physical dimension, with the support of our beings of light and all the beings and guides and angels and guardians that have come to help us. Now, our clients, our loved ones, everyone can find us because our soul signature is sprinkled throughout the galaxy. And open your eyes, and you might wiggle your body and tap your feet and start to really get present here again. And so, with the intention that you'll be hearing from people and doorways opening, new doors opening, new people contacting you, maybe new clients calling you. Beautiful. Welcome back.
Wow. That was incredible. I'm like, I'm so giddy. I'm like, that was fun. And it truly, like, there's just a joy to it. That's real. I can see how, see is the wrong word. I can feel how powerful this is. Thank you. I'm so excited about that. And I'm curious because, you've talked about, you work with a lot of people one-on-one, and you also, there are people that work with your program. And I'd love to hear what maybe some of the turnarounds that you've seen from the people who have applied what you're working with here. So do you have a couple of stories you could share with us?
Sure. Actually, one was really fun because I just got it a few days ago from someone who has been doing this meditation that I had shared with her. So she sent me an email and she said, I've been doing your soul signature meditation daily since you gave it to me. I'm leaving my soul symbol everywhere in the galaxy, and I've seen an increase in my clientele for readings and for Reiki. Every morning before I get out of bed, I ask to receive a gift, and today I was gifted by seeing my symbol in the sky. 3 airplanes had left in the sky the symbol I was given in the meditation. It was such a beautiful gift and confirmation for me. Thank you for this meditation. So that was one that was so fun to hear, this real, tangible, literally seeing her symbol in the sky created by these 3 airplanes. Phenomenal.
Wow. That's amazing. And that's from the actual meditation that we just did, correct?
Yes.
How cool is that, everyone? That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, so listen to it, re-listen to it, do it on your own. That's what she was doing. Very, very palpable, very powerful. So that was really fun. And then this I got the other day also from another student who's doing my first course. And he said, I can't thank you enough for the Akashic consultation and the life-changing information I'm receiving by working in my own Akashic records. I am fulfilled and have my new path fully ahead of me. My wings are opening and I am about to fly. I will be traveling soon from San Francisco to Rome to start my new job. Thank you 1,000 times for being the catalyst for my new life.
Wow. So it's so powerful when you realize that, when you realize this is sort of, this might be the key to, it seems like the faster access to, right? It's like the direct access to the stuff that has been blocking us that we can't seem to figure out. So I love that. And I get so excited about helping people take control of their life in that way, their new life. And there's so much more to learn from you, Lisa. So that's why I asked you to create a special offer. You very happily did. So simply click on the special offer button on this page. And Lisa, let us know what we'll find there.
Okay, so what I am offering to everyone is the ability to learn to access your own personal Akashic records, because I really keep being guided by the lords of the Akashic field to empower people. It's time to be empowered. And of course, I love to help people and I'm always here for people, but it's time to really take back our own power. So this is for you to learn to access your own Akashic records. And kind of the overview is there are 6 2-hour-long sessions to learn to access your records. So as you can tell, I can really talk, and it's, of course, not me. I'm just channeling the wisdom of the Akashic field. So there is more than 12 hours of teaching to learn so you can really, really get it. And so in the first week, we start working with another fabulous meditation, guided, guarded, and protected, that helps you fill yourself up with your highest and best energy so that you can really align with your soul path and work clearly in the records. And you start to learn 2 of the 4 Akashic record prayers that I've been given from the masters. So in the very first week, you start to do exercises and processes to access your records and try out the first 2 prayers to see if those are perfect fits for you. What the masters have said is that because we are all so unique, they've given me 4 different soul lineage prayers that resonate with different people so that you can find the one that resonates the most with you. And most people I find have 2 or even 3 that they resonate with, but certainly at least one of the 4, high vibrational resonation. And so in the second week we go on, we learn the next 2 prayers and we practice working with them. Again, doing exercises. So I guide you to practice, to do exercises, to learn what it feels like to be in the Akashic record. And then in the third session, we work with these healing tools that I've been given by the Lords of the Records. Again, there are 5 healing prayers that are just about healing you. There's the prayer of forgiveness for clearing karma. There's a prayer for more kind of physical level healing. There's a prayer to clear all these other people out of our energy field so that we can create better boundaries for ourselves. There's a prayer for clearing energy patterns and entities, because sometimes we pick up like unembodied energies. We want to get rid of them. And also a prayer for alignment. So as we really, again, want to deepen into aligning with our soul path. So we work with all of those healing tools and more in that third week. And then the fourth, we work with what we call grace points. They're actual points in our palm that help us to open and clear and redirect the energy flow in our body. So it actually helps us to clear and release blocks and energy in our energy field, and also to ground in and integrate the higher vibration energy. So we work with these grace points. Again, we do a lot of practicing, a lot of exercises and tools so that you feel clear and strong that you're getting information from your Akashic masters and teachers and beings of light. In the next 2 weeks, then, we really continue to do that. So lots of exercises. The next week is profound because we work with releasing old emotions. And it's a process you can do again and again and again, working through anger and jealousy and trauma and, hurt and sluggishness and boredom and all of these, 20 different emotions that we all have. So we work through a lot of the emotional energy that's also been stuck. And so through those last 2 classes, that final class, we really do more. Am I really in my Akashic records? What else can I do if I'm feeling uncertain? How can I deepen into this work? And so we really support you in really getting it and getting into your records and really feeling like you understand and know what you're doing and what you're receiving and how to move forward in your life. And then the final recording is actually kind of just an extra gift because it's a pre-recorded question and answer session. So I did this with a lot of different students and I just answered a lot of their questions. So it would be a lot of questions that you would have, that students would have about just, a variety of things. So that's in there. And then I've also added a 30-page manual So you can print that out, and you have the 4 Akashic record prayers right in front of you, the 5 healing tool prayers, the grace points, 30 questions to deepen into your Akashic records. So I give you like 30 questions you can ask to deepen. All of that is in the Akashic manual download. So that's just phenomenally helpful. So it's just my little mini book there, right there for you. And then, of course, I would love to have you join our private group, the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, so that you can get attention. You can meet some of your soul family right there. All these people are students who are studying to access the Akashic records. So when they ask questions and I answer them, it might be something very pertinent to you. And certainly people can ask questions, and I answer them. And I also add things like this soul signature meditation. I uploaded there as a video.
Wow.
So I put little gifts on that page also. So, just you never know what you might find. So that's just a lovely, lovely bonus. And then as really an extra special bonus for your listeners, I really wanted to offer a 30% discount if people are called to have a 60-minute private Akasha consultation with me. I wanted to give them a nice discount. So it's a 30% discount on a private one-on-one 60-minute session. And so that is all worth over $900. So we're doing the package now for $146 for you, for your listeners today.
Wow. That's amazing. And okay, so let me ask you this. When people start, and by the way, I love how you have it broken up, because you can even feel, okay, good, this is taking me through this in a way that's going to be just a very lasting benefit in my life, which is amazing. What are some of the biggest benefits and things that people can, expect to start experiencing almost right away when they start working with this?
Most people literally feel the energy, and hopefully so many of the listeners have felt that today, that to me the big shift is as we kind of move out of, again, like this muck and the mire, we start to see our world in this bigger, more expansive way. We literally move out of our old story, and we start to realize that life is a little bit more of a game, that we chose to do some of these things, and we feel much more empowered, and a lot of the old trauma just starts to drop away really naturally. And so, I have students say in the first day of class, I felt so connected. I was so clear that I had come to clear this karma and to heal my path so that I could move into really an enlightened state, that it's like, I really realized that just in that first hour of listening and really just kind of got on my path. It's just changed my life. And, again, just some of these pieces where one of my students was saying that the prayer to clear other people's energy is amazing and so powerful, because she totally realized that she had no boundaries and that there were so many people living in her energy field. She had no idea who she was. And so just by doing these sacred healing prayers, by doing the healing prayers that are in the course, and you can start doing those in day one, that all of a sudden you feel more open. You can say, oh, this is what I feel like. Oh, I all of a sudden know what I want to do. Maybe you just really realize what your next step is, because you can feel you. You can connect it with your soul and bring that vibration further down into your physical body. So just doing simple things like that, it affects our lives in so many ways. We connect to people we work with in a different way. We start to connect through our heart. People start to see and feel us, the higher vibration, and appreciate us in a different way. And what we sometimes notice is some of those old friends kind of drop away because they're really not part of our soul family. And it's time for us to meet some new souls, and some wonderful, bright light souls start to show up in your life. So it can be just a myriad of things as you raise your vibration and start to access this divine wisdom and really allow yourself to be divinely guided every day.
I love that. And it's so, I mean, it's such a powerful thing when you actually do that, when you allow yourself, and I love that you use that word, allow yourself to be divinely guided every day. And that takes, by the way, everyone, so much of the pressure off. So that's an amazing thing. Okay, so again, everyone, if you haven't yet, just click on the special offer button on this page to see for yourself what an amazing package this is. And Lisa, you've just been incredible. I'd love if you would share with us what you think we need to know before we leave you today.
I'd love to. And actually what I love to do is just kind of channel just a little piece from the Lords of the Record. So let me just see what they would like to say to this group today. Dear ones, you truly are the light. Release your fear, open your hearts, and step into the glorious life that you came to live with grace. We are here to serve you. We are always with you. We love you. Blessings. So that's the message from the Lords of the Group Records.
It's so beautiful.
And that's often the way they speak to us. They often will say, dear ones, and they are just pure love. So hopefully you could feel that love kind of move through me to you. And that is the way that they flow. They flow their energy through me to you. And as people learn to access their own Akashic records, their energy flows directly into each student. And that's what raises your vibration and helps you to clear all of the old karma, contracts, vows, pain, and trauma from your life. So it's an amazing blessing to really be able to connect with this divine source energy.
And thank you, Lisa, by the way, for sharing that message and everything you've shared with us on the call. You've been wonderful. And yes, that love and that energy and that light does come through. And this has been a fantastic call. And I'm so, so appreciative of everything that you've brought to it.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Our pleasure as I speak to the Lords also. Thank you for having us and letting us share this ancient divine wisdom with everyone. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait till we get to do it again. And everyone listening, you are all absolutely magnificent. And I am so thankful for everything that you all bring to every single one of these calls. It's such a gift. And so to Lisa and everyone listening, thank you. And until the next time, keep manifesting. Bye-bye, everyone.